different ways. And that's where people like the team that I work with at ADP Dealer Services and our digital marketing group, we've got a stout bunch of veterans that understand this stuff. And I'm not selling, I'm proud of them, and there's a whole bunch of other guys that work for other companies that are that understand this space as well, guys like Gary May and a few others. Because I never want to get up here and sell, I won't get invited back. Just proud of certain people in this business because we're adaptable, we learn. All of a sudden people start coming in with upside down trade-ins. Did we let that stop us from selling cars? Does anybody here remember the day that are launched? 100 a day. You got a handful like Facebook and MySpace, they hit the jackpot, right? It was like winning the lottery. Somehow the stars were aligned and they did it, and it worked. If you think that as a dealer or as a manager and a dealer that you could somehow be so organized that you could keep track of every one of those social networks and which ones are hot this week and which ones are not, I can't, I know I can't, and I don't believe, if you think you can, you need to think again. So the concept here is, as a dealer, build your own social network to start with. Why? Not because you're going to compete with MySpace, because you're going to have us working. The key to all of this is your employees. For once in the car business, more headcount is better than less. The more employees that you have, the greater the odds are that you'll be able to engage a significant percentage of them to participate in a dealership-sponsored online community, your own social network. When you do this, when you build your social network, just think about how easy of a model it is. We're all comfortable having commerce websites, right? We all are comfortable having websites where people go in and they pick out a car that comes close to what they were looking for, and they say, what can you do on it? And they submit a lead, and then we respond to that lead. Half of them don't get the response because of spam filters, but I got that response out, boss. Then we wonder why they don't answer the phone. They didn't even ask for my money. I joined and they didn't ask me for a fee. They let me upload videos. And I can use the dealership's community to upload a video, and I have more capabilities than I have with YouTube or anything else, because you're paying a fee, you're providing a service, you're paying a fee to create this environment, and your business is selling cars, it's not selling advertising on a social network. You don't have to worry about monetizing this because it's just not that expensive. Take it out of your ad budget. Take it away from the newspaper, they won't even notice. For what this costs, you can buy about 2 column inches, maybe, on a Wednesday. The Insera Group. I've done this now for, well, my boss is in the room, he's seen the plane tickets and he's seen the money we spent trying to build this thing out, so he knows I've done it at quite a few different dealers. You know, every once in a while, we've all heard the sayings that the dealer will never do that, right? How many of you are skeptical that when a dealer buys something like a software system that it'll ever be properly implemented and actually utilized? Okay? So and you probably work at dealerships. You don't work for suppliers, right? Yeah. So am I. And as a supplier, so am I. Here's what you got to do to make this work. Bam, ba-bam, ba-bam. I get on that plane on Friday afternoon, I go home, and I think, here we go again. And then I go online and I look a few days later, and I go, oh my God, they're actually doing it. I didn't know anybody would actually do it. The Inseras, I said, because I realized it was the Sanderson, Ford, Lincoln, Mercury guys. Dave Tedder at Sanderson taught me this. We were trying to get this thing going, and at first I would invite customers. Because I thought, that's where do we go first? We go to the customers, right? And I noticed the guys in his parts department, I was shocked. They have over 200 employees and their family members have signed up. And they haven't just signed up. I'm going to show you, they're writing articles. Every day I go in there, there's new articles. They got videos that are uploaded. They got photographs. They got employees that are putting photographs of their homes as they build the houses. They got employees putting up photographs of the stray dog that set up shop underneath a truck at their Nissan store, now chases away the raccoons, because at first they thought, hey, this is a liability issue, and then they realized that they were saving about $5 grand a month in raccoon damage, and everybody said, leave the dog alone, because they know the dog's chasing away the raccoons. Somebody writes a blog article about it. I go, get a picture of the dog. What did you call this dog? What's the dog's name? Well, we don't know. It's just the dog. It's the stray dog that lives underneath the Nissan Frontier pickup truck. What happens when you sell the truck? We'll have to put another one. The dog will get wet in the rain. Won't come inside the service building because it's a stray dog. It's not comfortable coming inside the building. But it keeps the raccoons away. We put the story on there, and we've got 3 pages of comments with people suggesting what to name this dog. It's gone viral now. And it's a she. I think it helps that it's a she, because everybody feels, I think, a little more sympathy for a female dog without a name. If you look down the middle here, this is InseraCommunity.com. It's also called InseraAutogroup.com, but we've kind of shifted. And when you get into this space, by the way, you have to be flexible. Hars in here. Spurs guard. George Hill partners with Insera Nissan. Oops. It's not a bad thing though, right? Spurs second-year guard. And if anybody from San Antonio knows, it's all about the Spurs down there. This one, this blog article made me feel guilty, because I didn't buy my daughter a car until she turned 16. This young lady got a brand new Camaro at the age of 15. You think there's a couple of kids finding this online, showing it to mom and dad? But Mom, I want a black one, not a yellow one. But Mom, she got one. Why can't I have one? This is the other thing is, when you build these communities, a couple things we got to learn as people in the car business. This idea that we're going to let consumers mark up our websites is hard to accept. In this particular case, everybody that joins the Insera community, they can make their personal section of the community, they can decorate it any way they want. They can move the furniture around, they can change the name of it, it's theirs. Everything is editable. And even though they could moderate, even though they could require that Elizabeth Barrera has to approve it as the IT director for the group, she's elected to let them have control and monitor it and decide. And if she has to intervene, she will. But the reason she's doing this is so that the consumers feel comfortable. They feel that they can trust the dealership. There's just another profile page. This happens to be somebody that works with me. You know, when I told them to join the Insera community because they were a client, I didn't realize it was going to customize it so much. Tweeter, because we showed her how to do the to save the search, where you check if somebody mentions Insera in any tweet. That's the beautiful thing about this space, people. You can listen. You can set up technology where you can hear what everybody's saying about your dealership. It's beautiful and it's scary. The first time you turn it on, the feeds start coming in, and you see all those cuss words they put in writing and stuff. It's scary, but here's the beautiful outcome. If you actually engage these people, they become raving fans. They're so easy to win over. First of all, they're shocked that you were listening. They can't believe that you saw their tweet. They want to know how you did that. In this particular case, April intervened for a customer who tweeted that his oil change was taking too long. Now she created a raving fan who writes blog articles about what a great dealership it is. Imagine what's going to happen when there's 100 people doing that, 1,000 people doing that. The beautiful thing about having your own social network, having your search engines, doesn't matter if there's anything good on your website when they get there, as long as it ranks high in the search engine, right? So what about search engines? Will social network pages, blogs, be indexed by Google? Is there any value to the references being made about your dealership in the anchor text links that you yourself put into your profile pages on other social networks? Let's take a look at when we search for Insera social media profiles. And we just did, this morning I did a simple search. I just put it in Sierra Auto Group because I wanted to see what was happening. I wanted to see what would come up. Here's what came up. When I first went out there, they were always at the top, but you go down about the third or fourth entry and there'd be something else. And then there'd be something else, something else. Check this out. Page 1. Every single item is an Insera-owned page. Guess what's got more real estate than even their e-commerce website? Their community website. Why? Because it has such a variety of rich content from those 200 employees writing articles like how to pick out the right HID bulb so that when it's foggy, it works good or something. I don't know, I can't even understand it, but it looks like cool stuff. All I know is it's nothing I would have come up with, and that's the beauty of it. It's not pitching a car, it's pitching information and knowledge to people that can use it and improve their experience with their products with it. Every single one of these entries, further down on the first page, every single one of them, their social media profiles mixed in. We go to SERP, Search Engine Results, page number 2. Again, a grand slam. Every single entry is from the dealership, is a page that they control. We go to page 3. Every single entry is a page that Insera Auto Group controls. We go to page 4. Go down the list. Every single one of them, they control. We go to page 5. Every single search result is an Insera profile page or a listing in a merchant, in an online merchant directory. And this is a half of these we set up in September. We go to page 6, again, another grand slam. Every single page is an Insera-owned, controlled, managed page. We go to page 7, the same. We go to page 8, again. We go to page 9, again. I was getting scary because I only signed them up for 120 networks. Where are we going to run out here? Never did run out. It just started to thin out. We get to page 10. And then I see the last item on page 10. And Insera Auto Group left a comment from Matt Lamro. Anybody here know Matt? He works for Dealer Rater. Here's the deal. I was still logged in as Insera, and I was sending him a message. Luckily, it was about your store because we're trying to get the certifications going, set up. And I forgot that I was still logged into Insera when I sent the tweet. I didn't log in because that's one of the problems with social is you get all the cookies so it remembers your passwords. So when you're managing multiple accounts, we're going to have to get better at that. It's sort of like, you know, you have to have different shoes for the snow, different shoes for the showroom, that sort of thing. At any rate, and here it is, it shows up in a search engine. And I just was, oops. So how do you manage that mess, that whole nightmare? Well, one of the things that we did is, you know, part of the working as a partnership with the Inseras is we created a portal. You're going to see it's a very simple concept. Anybody can do this. If you can build a link, you can create a portal. So we create this portal, we put the text in this